Well, welcome back to the Hobart Aquatic Center, and I'm joining me in the booth today. My name is Dave Lambert, and joining me from the USA is Scott. Welcome, Scott.
Well, thank you very much, Dave. What a gorgeous day you put on today here in Hobart. It's a little change from the rain we had yesterday. Thank
Yeah,
you for that.
yeah. Well, thanks. It's warming up. The sun's out. It's reflecting a little bit on the pool. Hopefully, it's not interfering with the game. But we've got a big game coming up here. We got New Zealand versus the US.
Yeah, this is going to be an interesting game. The players on the U.S. team are fairly young, and some of these players, this is their first major competition, certainly their world competition. So it'll be interesting to see how they're able to contain and hold the New Zealanders.
Yeah, the New Zealanders are traditionally they get a lot of time to practice together. They're very drilled. They're very I won't say it as far as regimented, but they're very full on what they actually do. Do you guys get that opportunity to train a lot together? Or are you spread out throughout the states?
Well, our pool, primarily because our weather is just so beautiful where we live in Northern California, a lot of kids are spread out, so this is one of the many sports that they play. So the pool of players to pull from is generally smaller where we come from.
Yeah, I guess that's why you have brought only 10 teams, 10 players. Sorry, a lot of them bring 12s and they rotate it in. So this time everyone gets a game, and they're looking forward to playing New Zealand.
Absolutely. This is going to be a good gut check. They played France yesterday, and unfortunately the score was a little lopsided. But they were able to come back and play Canada yesterday and prevail in that game. So I'm optimistic that they've got some things figured out. The coach is talking about what he's expecting out of this game, and hopefully they'll be able to at least contain this and make this a very respectable score.
Yeah, Aaron, we're about to get underway, and we're underway. Um, we're off on the strike, and we've got looks like New Zealand who are playing in white, and black is the U.S. So for people viewing it, we got the left-hand side
New
is the
Zealand's driving.
USA. Yep,
Yeah, they're
good
driving
drive.
down to the trough. It looks
And
like
look,
they put in a first
we got a no goal called by the referee. Gloving is the call against New Zealand, so the U.S. will get a free puck in their own end.
Well, that's fortunate because that was certainly a good drive by New Zealand, and that was right up the center of the trough.
Yep. And do you, maybe we'll talk a little about the formation the U.S. used. You involved in any of the setup in the formation by Coach Holland?
You know, Coach asks me and then ignores me.
Right. Okay. I know that feeling sometimes. I get that feeling from the players when they ignore me most of the time. But yeah, we got the New Zealand moving the puck wide. Got the American young fellow there trying to cut him off and did well, but left the open side open, and the New Zealand capitalized on that.
Yeah, there's some real nice play getting this over to the wall. New Zealand was unable to capitalize on getting it back to the center, although they did have the numbers down. There's a lot of work along the wall and getting it up.
I think that's where the experience might the American team will actually learn from, but they'll learn from the New Zealand's because well regimented and drilled on this, and they're always in the right place, and the timing of it is becomes very impeccable, and so it'll be a very interesting. But we're in the middle of the pool. The Americans are holding them off there, and it's good to see and pushing back into the New Zealand end.
Yeah, it looks like there's been a shift. New Zealand's tried a couple of times to swing wide, and they've been cut off. So it'll be interesting to see how the Americans contain. They obviously would be very happy if they were able to contain New Zealanders and keep this score pretty low.
Yeah, well, it's still 0-0, and we're only about 2 minutes in. We've got another call. It looks like an obstruction call, but both teams equal on that, so it'll be an equal puck in the middle. That means both teams have the advantage to get the puck first, and we're still deep in the New Zealand end. So you're right. The U.S. team is actually keeping their own and holding their own. Hopefully, they can sustain that throughout the game.
I think if the Americans see the New Zealanders come out breathing hard, they'll be really excited and happy about this game.
Right. Okay. I mean, there's a bit of experience to happen there. They seem to be all subbing on that play and left the puck for the New Zealand. But being that deep, they've sort of responded well and got out their defense. What sort of training have the boys been up to leading up into this?
Well, they have their regular club practices, and I know Holland puts them through at least a minimum of 3,000 yards every practice 3 times a week. A couple of these are elite competitive swimmers as well. So my son, who actually plays on this team, swims in Northern California in the United States.
Yeah, well, we're pressing right on the goal, and looks like it was left open there, and New Zealand's popped the one. And we'll look for the referee. There's one referee call.
Yep.
There's two calls made, and do we have a number on that? It's coming through from the score bench. It looks like number 7, Logan Stevenson from New Zealand, popped the first New Zealand goal in at the 11:30 mark. It just looked like the New Zealanders just overwhelmed the U.S. team in defense there.
They came in hard. It was a nice swing to the outside and then popped it out of the corner and came in. It looks like they have a really nice strike and good formation on the strike. They're getting deep into American territory on this.
Yeah, they're getting there first, but also they're getting there with the full team. The Americans a bit sluggish off the mark, and they're paying the price for that. And straight away, it's back in. The referees are seeing a no goal.
Once again,
very
a
fortunate.
call.
Yeah.
Just for you back at home, we're unable to see the pool, so we're looking all on monitors from here, whereas some of the other commentators are able to actually see some of the play in the pool.
Yep. So there we go. Free puck in front of goal for the U.S. team, taking it wide. Good strategy to get it out of that danger zone, but New Zealand's put an umbrella defense down, and they sort of tried to cut you off, but the Americans are popping through on second and third efforts. Good to see some second and third efforts from the American team. That's something that new teams have a tendency to forget about. It's they do their one effort and then pop to the surface for a breath.
It looked like they took a sub. Unfortunately, it might have been at the wrong time. New Zealand was able to get the goal in during a sub.
Yeah, that's experience again comes through, and hopefully that's something that they will learn. And I'm getting number 3 scored that goal. Samuel Hopegood from New Zealand has scored the second goal for New Zealand at the 9:56 mark. And you're right, that experience will come in time, but hopefully they can rip it up and get it right through the rest of this tournament.
Well, thus far it looks like they are doing some work on containing the New Zealanders. It was unfortunate because during the sub, the New Zealanders recognized that, took it out of the corner, and brought it right back to the center of the trough.
Yeah, I mean, and again, they're going end to end again. I mean, the Americans are pushing them up, and the New Zealanders are defending, but the American team is actually having a good go at it, and they just got to get it work together as a team and stop chasing the puck in defense. Here we go.
This looks like possibly a breakaway. It looks like maybe New Zealand is going to get this one in.
Now it
was stopped right on the edge of the goal, but there was help behind him, so they had numbers.
The number 2, I think it was Eric Mao there, defended well, but he was isolated, and he had, unfortunately, there was another 2 New Zealanders coming in behind it, and William Heaps picked up the scraps and plugged it in the in New Zealand terms, in the bin. We call them goals in places, but in New Zealand they call them the bin. Don't get me wrong, but I don't know.
Well, we call it the trough, so I guess everybody back home will get a variety of.
Yeah. Okay. So
trough.
The trough. We call it the goal tray, the bin. I think there's probably some other ones. I'd hate to think what they call it in French and that, but it looks like we've got a timeout call. I wasn't sure who called that, but it might be a U.S. timeout. But they got a minute to regroup and rethink. And you're right. I think they came out and they hold the initial strike from New Zealand and defended well, but it's that second and third effort that the New Zealanders are regimented in the structures, not so structure in the U.S. side at this point.
And that's where the experience comes in, certainly. So I was actually commentating with Jordan from the U23, the coach of the U23 Canadians, and he calls it a net, by the way, just so you know.
He calls it what?
He calls it a net.
A net. Okay,
yeah.
Well, there's absolutely no net involved in this, and there's no salmon in the pool, and we don't have to catch anything. But 6 seconds left before the timeout, resume play. It's 3-0 here in the second day at the Hobart Aquatic Center in Hobart, the Doran Hobart Aquatic Center. And the New Zealanders win it again and move it out wide in their traditional move, which they try to draw the opposition to one side of the pool, expose their backside, and as you can see, they're moving it quickly to that side. But the good defense on the U.S. side, number 2, Eric, he seems to be everywhere in the pool.
He is.
Yeah.
They've got a couple players on here who have actually played in Spain, so on the last World. So they do have some experience. They do have a lot of young players. In fact, I believe the youngest player in this tournament today is Justin Lee, who's 13.
Justin Lee, that's number 8 on the U.S. team.
That's correct.
Wow, I mean that I think we looked at the time on that on the stats of the ages, and he was the youngest. The U.S. team, both in the boys and the girls, were very young. Where on the other hand, we got New Zealanders, and they were all averaging around that 18-year-old mark. What sort of junior depth do you have up in the U.S.? Do you have like a number of teams playing, or you just have a pool of a number of players?
Holland's put together a fantastic developmental team, and I think it'll come down to being able to New Zealand just put the puck in the bin.
Okay, well, they just scored it, according to Jordan, into the net. Well, I don't know where it's a net, but it's a goal here. And again, it was really just simply from numbers on the bottom of the pool, and they drew the American team to one side, countered, come back through the other side in the second effort with numbers, and unable to respond. Eric back there was playing by themselves, and number 8 for New Zealand scored his, I think that's the second goal of the same. No, it's been clarified. Number 3, Samuel Hupgood, scored that goal, and it is 4-0 for New Zealand over the U.S. team.
Correct, and it looks like the U.S. is doing a good job in getting it out to the wall, clearing the puck out, and they're actually making advances on New Zealand. But you're right. I think it's just the overwhelming numbers that are coming down in that second and third opportunities when they're making runs.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, they're pretty strong in defense, as you can see them working the puck and working it wide. But it's simply that one player in defense isn't going to attack, and there's another goal. But it's simply because there were 3 New Zealanders driving in. As soon as that one defender cleared the puck, he rotated it back, and then another 4 wave of New Zealanders came through. And I think that was number 5, was that? And I'm getting the nod from the wonderful assistant here, Romy. Thank you for joining us and helping us along here. And as people won't know back home or here in Hobart, that this booth is full of about 12 people running around helping and supporting us make this call. Scott, have you ever seen such an organization go like this?
I have seen organizations, but not go as smoothly and as well as this. So been involved in a lot of things where there's usually fire and damage and broken things. So usually hockey players. So.
Yeah, that's good. And you were saying earlier that the U.S. teams they spend many camps together as groups as a team, or are they still spread out?
They try to. There's a lot of fairly.
Sorry, New Zealand just popped another one. Unfortunately, Eric couldn't hold that one out, and he looks like he's sucking in the big ones, and he's going back. Who's that number 3 scored another goal, Samuel. I think this is third or fourth. Yeah, third is goal.
Third. Yeah. New Zealand's put together some nice drives. They're simply overwhelming the Americans down by the goal, and it'll be interesting to see how these guys come out of this game. And we have a timeout from.
Not sure who called this one, but we got another timeout for another minute. But I think this sort of put it into realizing I know the New Zealand's. They don't have a lot of ways to try, but they usually have about 6 or 7 training camps in a very short period once the team's selected. Even in Australia, we have that difficulty because half our team's in one side and the other half's on the other side. And that's a difficult thing to do when you come together and try to learn to play against a well-oiled machine like the New Zealand's here.
That's right, Dave. It's unfortunate that this sport isn't more well supported in other countries, because I think you'd see some of the quality of competition a lot closer. This is going to be interesting to see these teams. It looks like this is about the level of what France is playing, so it'll be interesting to see how New Zealand and France come together and see what that competition looks like.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, they just they took the Australians apart just recently. The French against the Australians there, and it was 4-0. And the Australians gave a good effort, but they were just outclassed. But in yesterday's game, I think you saw a good improvement from the morning game against France, 15-0. And in the afternoon game, I think you came on top of the Canadians.
That's correct. So it was nice to see the guys emotionally come back from a 15-0 game is pretty hard to come back from, and for coming back and putting a good show on for the Canadians. That was an exciting game. They were going wall to wall, and they were going end to end on both sides. So I got to hand it to the Canadians. They put up spirited defense and offense.
Hey, Scott, we just had another goal popped in by Ryan Dean, number 5 from New Zealand. And it's like I'm watching replays because it's the same principles. The U.S. team is defending well on the first drive. They get rolled off, and the New Zealand come back through with about 4 or 5 people. And that just, again, that come down to the experience. And you can see that, there's 5 New Zealand's down the play, and there's two U.S. players. And honestly, 3 against 2, you're going to lose each time. So hopefully they'll regroup this the next time out or at halftime. We still got 3 minutes to go in this half, and we got the Americans making a break, and hopefully it can consolidate here.
New Zealanders are doing a great job in positioning well in between the first and second line, and they just, like you said, here's another number just swarming on the goal, and there's very little way that the U.S. is going to be able to defend. It looks like there's another goal going in.
Yeah, the referees are looking at each other. Yes, we got a signal of a goal,
Well, we've got about 3 minutes left, and it's a containable score if they can pull it together during this half and keep it right around here. I think they'll be pretty proud of their effort.
Yeah, did they have you indicated earlier that the U.S. team had a bit of a mindset of how they wanted to address this. We didn't get a number on that last goal, but I think we're giving it to Ryan. He seemed to be involved in a lot. We got number 3 this time, Samuel Hopgood. Scored again. I think he's up to number 4 or 5 at this time point. And we're right in front of the goal again. But nice clearing happening here. We got the referee making a call, looking at each other. He's playing advantage against. The call is against New Zealand for gloving by the looks of it, or of some port. And so the Americans have an opportunity here to set themselves up and defend it out of their end.
I'm sure you've watched and commentated a number of games. It's been really nice to see that the referees are allowing play to play, and at the same time making sure that play is slowed down or stopped when it gets either a little aggressive or when there's an egregious foul. But they seem to be allowing the players to play the game.
Yeah, that's an unvent about the advantage rule brought in probably about, I'll probably argue about it, about 10 to 12 years ago when we were getting a lot of stop-start in the game, and I think you would agree, in a 15-minute game, if you're stopping and starting, and it sort of detects from the game, and introducing the advantage rule, playing it for the people who are being infringed, has really made the game flow a lot nicer, and it's good to see. I know the referees work hard at trying to make a flow of hockey, and again, here we got another goal going in by New Zealand, and the New Zealanders are showing a well-disciplined machine. Hold on, the referee's calling it no goal. Not sure what he actually saw there, but not sure of the call, but it's not a goal card, so I take that back.
It almost looked like he called screening on New Zealand.
That would have been a unintentional block of the puck. So he might have blocked the puck with a part of his body. Not worth a 1-minute penalty, but it was accidental. So it wasn't played. So it was pulled back. So it was knocked down. And again, we've got a break against the New Zealand team, lining up too close to the line, coming too far and out. New Zealand setting up again. Do the American team have a set format for taking their free pucks, or is it who usually takes your free pucks in your game?
Usually it'll be one of the backs that comes forward, one of the middle backs. It looks like New Zealand's making another drive to the...
Yep, 2-on-1 again happening there. Again, we're getting a wave off where we have an accidental glove. Unfortunately, the problem when we're at halftime and it's 8-0 for the U.S. Unfortunately, the pool has the tiles and the puck bobbles a lot and accidentally hits the glove. And if you can't bounce off the glove and go in forward of your progression and be advantage to you, and if that's the case, it happens. It's called on a gloving sense, and it's brought back. So that was just bad luck on the New Zealand, but I'm sure the Americans are very happy that it's at halftime. We're 8-0. What sort of projections did you have for the halftime score?
This is pretty close. I know the boys would like to keep it under 10. It looks like that might be difficult for the rest of the game here, but we'll see how the New Zealanders come out, and we'll see what the USA comes out with.
Yeah, New Zealand has a habit of not taking their foot off the pedal and coming in. I hope the halftime. What sort of things would be going coming from Coach Holland's voice to keep the boys back in line and not be told, put their head down. It's their first Worlds. They should be pretty happy. 8-0. I've seen worse, and I think they should be. What's he likely to be telling the boys at the halftime?
Well, I think he probably saw exactly the same things that we saw. He saw some dynamite plays. He saw the U.S. moving it out, and he saw them clearing the puck out of their end of the goal and actually making some drives up. And I think that's something to be real proud of. These kids have a lot of heart. They're playing as competitive as they can play right now, and they've done some good things. New Zealand obviously is just overwhelming them.
Yeah, and I guess what maybe the folks at home might not realize, but New Zealand have we talked to a few of the New Zealand girls on the Glory Day show, and they have 60 teams in their schools division, and most of those teams actually have to qualify to make it into their schools nationals. So you can actually sort of see the numbers of kids coming up behind. I mean, I know here in Hobart we have a very big junior division, but nowhere near that, and that's where a lot of our players come from. But hands off to you guys who are putting a lot of effort at the junior level back home. Yourself coming over here, escorting the guys, and I'm sure what a lot of people don't realize is all the work you've done to get them here. Well done on that side.
I wonder if I had known exactly where Tasmania was on the globe, if it would have changed anything. You guys are literally on the other side of the world from us.
Absolutely, and it is a long way, and I hope you're surviving okay with our 0 mornings, and then by midday we're up around the 13s, but at least the sun's out today, as you said.
Well, I like that weather. We're just about to start the second half. I will say, just give a shout out to all of Hobart. They've been so accommodating and so warm and welcoming to us. We're on the strike here on the second half.
Well, I'm glad you feel at home, and the New Zealand's again trying to put pressure straight away on number 4, Quantum. Is you say his name Quantum? Is it?
Quantum Zhao,
yeah,
yes.
Quantum Zhao. Well, okay.
He's fantastic defender. He's quality down under the water. Once again, though, the numbers down there, doesn't matter how good you are. If you've got 3-on-1, it's going to go badly for the one.
That absolutely. I constantly in training the boys. I coach the Australian team, and constantly we try to. It's a numbers game. We try to eliminate the numbers, so we end up with 3-on-1s. But at levels, it becomes difficult. So you got to practice and rehearse it. And we're seeing a good example of how the New Zealanders practice it. And I hope that you guys can, with this wonderful footage that we're having, you'll be able to take this home, review the footage, and see what they're doing differently. And the amount of training and the age group, the age is a bit of a difference, but there's not much you can do about it when those are the number of players that you end up with.
That's correct. And I guess the good news is that a lot of these players have at least one more Worlds, if not 2, left in them.
Yep, and obviously they love the game like the rest of us. I mean, a lot of us like yourself, we don't get the big money that some of the other sports get. And number 6 there, Benjamin, that's your boy there. He made a lovely effort down the side, but it's been countered by the New Zealand. And again, Quantum is chasing them down. But as you see, there's another 4 or 5 New Zealand coming straight underneath him, and he's just not being able to push. There's 3 guys pushing that guy effectively in against that defender. And we have a goal called, ball the referees, and number 2, James Rasbottom, I think that's his first of the game, has popped it in. But that was a good effort by your son. Unfortunately, he didn't have his support numbers like the New Zealand. All those white bats were there. Unfortunately, he didn't come up with the puck.
Well, I got to say, watching him swim up the wall with the puck and drive through was a thrill, and hopefully the folks back home got to see him.
What's the time difference do we have here? We're talking about there'll be evening for them or early morning.
Dave, I apologize. I don't know what day it is anymore.
Welcome to Hobart. Hey, look, I'll bring out the fancy these fancy iPhones here that actually tell us. And I'll hold on. There's more play going on. Just bear with me.
I'll go ahead and
Yeah, you keep
take a
going, and
look at the
I'll
play.
check and see what the time is over there. Hold
There's
on.
another drive coming back down. It looks like the Americans have cleared it once again over towards the wall. Looks like New Zealand's looking to swing it out and is having a little difficulty, and the puck is in the center, and it looks like that's possibly another one in the trough again. A lot of numbers down. Good movement back towards the goal from New Zealand. Americans had cleared it into the corner and then got put back in. That was James.
Number 13. It was
number
Cameron.
13, Cameron. And I'm going to, Manuel Arnold was the
Double hyphen. Big family.
big family.
Yeah, we're looking
Like to
about.
see it.
Nope, wrong place. No, and we're back live again. It's 10-0 back here at
So it's 9:05 p.m. in the States right now.
not PM. So
Yeah.
people will be sitting back, finishing their dinner, and watching the boys play. And they're putting up a good effort. But again, here we're seeing a drive right through the middle. And that time, they didn't come off the strike quite prepared. They left a few number gaps in there.
Size and speed on that one, that was incredible.
And number 2, James Rasbottom, got his second of the day for New Zealand and put it in. Unfortunately, we got 11 minutes to go with a score of 11-0 for New Zealand. Look, I think the boys just need to lift their heads and sort of one goal at a time and see how they go.
You know, they've done well. There's been some individual efforts. Like you mentioned before, it's just a matter of numbers, and the numbers, they're unable to get it and clear it and keep it to the wall and just get the numbers down.
Yeah, it's not a and I guess is where the fitness and the experience comes in when you see a team like New Zealand demonstrating today, is that their first effort's being strong, but it's not the second. It's the third, the fourth, and the fifth effort, and you continue with those numbers, and that's really been the decisive disadvantage. The differences between the two is that good, strong on the first and the second effort, both teams, but it's the third and fourth efforts that the Americans are letting themselves down on.
And the positioning looks good on both teams. There's some really good individual plays. They're just unable to, it looks like, hold the size, the speed, and the conditioning of the New Zealanders. You have to hand it to them. You don't get conditioned by sitting around on a couch eating potato chips.
No, that's exactly right. But like I said, they have a very strong regimen, and as you can see, in that example there, you saw. I think that's our friend Eric there. Yes, it was. He was defending against 4 New Zealanders making in the things, and Logan Stevenson popped one in for New Zealand to bring them up to 12-0. I constantly say that I'm really. It's fantastic to see you here with such a young team, and look forward to in the future growth, and they'll stay in it because obviously they love the sport. As you said, some of them coming from swimmers. We try to get a lot of our swimmers here, but as you in the U.S. and us in Australia, we're our swimming countries, and you guys are very strong in a lot of sports, but for Australia, very swimming and offers them a lot more advantages than playing hockey.
You know, it's nice. This is, it looks like another goal is going to go in for New Zealand.
Yeah, I think it's, unfortunately, the New Zealand, the fatigue is starting to hit your boys in the legs, and we got number 10, Thomas Marcus Craddock Morris. I think that's how it's pronounced, but I'm lousy at pronouncing names. But Thomas there scored one for New Zealand.
So this will be interesting to see how the last 8.5 minutes go. So far, the New Zealanders have beat on the strike by at least a meter each and every time. So that's a big difference in size and speed to be able to get it out. It looks like the Americans are starting to swing it out and get it to the wall, and New Zealand's very good about getting it back. And then, like you said, there's just a wave. They're positioned well, and they're just coming in with the numbers on the bottom. Yeah,
I'm interested to sort of say how you traditionally like to play your game. I've seen a lot of the senior players, but sort of the junior players, how do they like to play a bit of more a close-in game, or do they like playing what a lot of people would call as a traditional Australian play, where we play wide across the pool, and in a 25-meter pool, it's quite big?
Well, the way they'd like to play is they'd like to play up the wall and then to the other trough.
Yeah, I get trough or net or bin.
All three.
All three.
Right. It looks like New Zealand's right at the lip. Was a nice clear, but it does look like it may have gone in again.
Yeah, the referees are signaling, and they're making the call. We got another goal. The puck had entered the bin from the front.
I think it's a net.
I see no nets. That's all. That's the problem. Bin.
Well,
I think when someone number. Yeah, we got number 5. Ryan Deans popped one into the bin, net
Good
or
for
trough. I can see it being a trough because it is a bit of a tray and a bit of trough there. The net, I know that comes from because I have seen some pool that have it drop away in net, and that really is very helpful in our game when sometimes the puck will go through that volume and it doesn't look like a goal, but if it falls into a net and disappears down there, then it's definitely a goal. And
then you know it's a goal.
Yeah.
And that's the way they make play up in Canada. I don't know. I haven't played up in Canada, so.
Okay. Well, I have, and I think it just comes. I think they have nets, but they're on the ice.
That's what I was thinking. So
I think I saw the nets. It was in Europe somewhere where the goal went into a big trough, fell in a big hole, and it was caught in a net.
Perfect. I'm sure that's what Jordan was referring to.
Yeah.
So I had a lot of fun commentating with him. Obviously, with he being the Canadian U23 coach and me being the manager for the USA team, it was a lot of fun to sit and. Warned everybody that if the mic suddenly turned off or if you heard scuffling behind it, nothing to worry about.
Nothing to worry about, just some cross-border rivalry and stuff like that. And I hate to mention the man, but how's everyone coping with the big businessman running the country?
We're all fine with it sitting over here.
That's okay. Welcome to Hobart.
Thank you.
You probably see more of them on the news here than you would at home.
Yeah, I believe we actually do. So once again, I'm watching this clear out here, and I'm watching some great individual play. I watched Eric come up with a nice pick. He was able to get the puck up and retain it on the wall. Raymond came back and assisted. There's a lot of good individual play, but you're just seeing an overwhelming number of New Zealanders down and on the bottom.
Yeah, that's it. And there was some good combinations, like you said, some individual efforts by both Eric and Raymond. And we just saw Ben Liu run it up the wall and try to set up his player, Calvin. But unfortunately, New Zealand just stepped in front of them and took it out and running away. And we're seeing an example here where I think the American teams was trying to press for that goal against New Zealand and then left poor Eric exposed on the defensive line again.
I think that was Samuel Hopgood again.
Yeah, Samuel is. I've lost count of how many he's popped in today. Of the, I think it's now 15-0.
It's 15-0.
15 with 5. So that's
5 minutes left.
That's that. Unfortunately, and I hate to bring this up, that matches the French game. Let's see if we can hold it. Let's wish the guys some hold this one up and see. But the way New Zealand's are turning it over, it's one every minute. So
everybody's looking tired on the U.S. team. So that'll be a factor in the last few minutes. Once again, good individual efforts by people and just sustaining that effort and getting the help to sustain it. And you're looking at the New Zealanders once again come in and just swarm on the trough. And it looks like that may be another goal.
Yeah, the signals are being sent by the referee. Yeah, it looks like number 2, James Ramsbottom has popped in another one. And it's unfortunate to see, but the New Zealanders aren't letting up, and the young lads, and as you said, some of them are 13, 14 years old. Their legs are starting to fatigue.
Well, they'll know what they need to do for the next round, right? That's part of this is being in a world competition. Everybody's nervous the first time in. Everybody's doesn't know exactly what to expect. So when you come on any world competition, then you know what to expect the next round. And
yeah, that's right. And I guess that goes to we're very fortunate this year. Canada's hosting the Senior Worlds in 2000 in Quebec City. That's in 3 meters pool. And we're fortunate that our friends, you guys, the U.S., are hosting us in Hawaii later in September. Where we're having a bit of a round tournament with Canada. The U.S. will have a team. New Zealand's coming across. I think there's a Barbarians team made up of some Colombians and some South Africans coming, and the Australian teams are coming to do that. That's very and then that's like underwater hockey as it is across the world, as everyone's trying to help each other. But like you say, 2 years is a long time in teams and develop. So in 2 years' time, I'm looking forward to seeing some of these young U.S. players back there taking the lessons of maybe this game and some of the other games home back with them.
Sure, you can have a coach describe or tell you what you need to do to perform at this level. But when you get out here and you see what you need to do, that's what builds the drive to go back. And when the coach says it's 3,000 yards, it's not 3,000 lazy yards, it's 3,000 intense yards.
Yeah, that's one of the things that probably over the last 10 years I've really tried to drive home, and a lot of the Australian players. As you can see, the New Zealanders are fit. The French are here; they're fit. The Turkish are very here and fit. And you look around the pool deck, and then you look at your young team here. I see some really good, inspiring young players looking around, going. And don't get me wrong, I see these young players very fit and very strong. But there's an age difference, and obviously the amount of yards that they haven't put in to match some of the New Zealand who are about 3 or 4 years older.
Well, that body maturity usually doesn't take place until you get to be about 17, 18 years old anyway. So trying to condition somebody who's 13, 14 is just difficult.
Yeah, I think what I'm seeing on the American team is that they got some good puck skills. They're swimming the puck. They're doing it protected. It's just simply a numbers game. The New Zealanders are on the bottom. But the skills are there, and I think that's where we focus the attention. And it's credit to you guys who have actually been showing them. And there's a good example there of a lovely a steal. Unfortunately, it bobbled off his puck because, again, there was another New Zealand. As soon as he turned to the left, there was a New Zealand. Turned to the right, there's a New Zealander. But their skill levels is very impressive. So well done to you guys.
Well, I appreciate that very much, Dave. And you can see that one of the things that the U.S. probably needs to look at is filling space and not allowing people to get in between where they want to go in the puck. I've been seeing a lot of times where New Zealand is just set up. They're filling the space in between. The puck is unable to get through and get to where they need to be.
Yeah, and again, I'll go back to the point that New Zealand has good opportunity to drill this into their players. Not one of those players will not know at a single point in this game where they need to be. Where this maturity will develop in the U.S. team. They'll all learn together, and they'll all actually learn how each other play and how they we got a subbing call against, looks like against New Zealand. So I'm not sure what that call. We got a subbing, New Zealand. Okay. Usually there's someone thrown out that time, but obviously not this time. But all I was saying is that they'll learn to know where everyone's going to be, and we got some a lovely drive there. That wasn't your son there, was he? He just got his head crunched by a New Zealand butt. No.
Well,
and
New
the
Zealand
referee saw
that. Everybody saw it.
Yeah. Well, I think everyone saw it, and the referee made the call and obstruction because he did have possession of the puck, making the call, and the New Zealand just stuck his butt out and hit him. So the Americans got a puck here. Oh, tried to fake the puck, but he forgot the puck this time. Nice fake puck, but then he forgot it. Now he's got it back, but unfortunately the New Zealand's picked it up. But let's see if they can put some pressure on that New Zealand back line.
So we're getting back to the wall, making some nice moves over towards the wall, keeping it pinned against there. Once again, New Zealand's making a swing out, and there's just not enough down, but
that was number 2 there again, Eric. There, that was a lovely pullback and a number push around. No, sorry, I make that call. That was Quantum, number 4 for the Americans, who made a lovely pullback and swerve move. I really enjoyed that. That was a nice skill exhibition there from him.
Well, once again, a lot of really good personal efforts.
There's your boy there. He's got the puck in the corner. What can he do with it? Oh, he's being pushed up. Got to go for a bit of a breath.
And it looks like with 37 seconds left, it looks like New Zealand's pressing on the trough. Nice flick back out.
cleared it out. Number 5 there, Raymond Da.
And it looks like we've got less than 30 seconds. Boys are really trying to contain the puck down.
Yeah,
like a high shot there, but
it looks like it was
went
put
in
in.
the
Let's see.
bin.
No, the referees
No.
are signaling no goal.
Another
Gloving by the New Zealander, accidentally punch it off. And I think we got about, maybe about 20 seconds left at all? No, we got 11 seconds left in the game, and that'll just be enough time to set the puck up, blow the signal, and the game's over.
pretty much. This has been a good individual effort game, so I'm sure they'll take this tape back and take a look at it and see what needs to be done and what they can do to improve. And it looks like they may have gone in right at the last second.
Well, the referees are indicating, but it's the chief ref score. It's looks like number 10, Thomas Harrisek, got the last goal in the last second, whether they count that or not. But hey, look, Scott, it's been a pleasure commentating with you, and it's really very happy to have you and the team here in Hobart. I know it's probably not the score you were looking for today, but hey, the New Zealanders came out and showed what a lot of hard work and regimented hockey that they have, and the depth in their junior program. So hopefully the boys will take this one on the chin and get ready for the next game.
Absolutely, Dave. Thank you so much. I appreciate your time here today. And thanks for making us welcome here in Hobart.
Yeah, good. Thank you. And hopefully we've got 11 minutes to go. Maybe we'll catch some of the American boys and a New Zealand boy on the deck for a quick interview. Thanks again, Scott, and look forward to another commentator later on. Yeah, Hal, welcome. Yeah, welcome to Hobart. Sorry for the loss there, but you guys just a very young team. How did you feel in there?
That felt great. I think we all tried to do some stuff, and we all accomplished what we tried. Our wall game, we were trying to clean it up, and I think we did. It was a great game.
Yeah, we enjoyed commentating and watching. You guys seemed to sustain the New Zealand efforts on the first and the second drives, but then they just seemed to overwhelm you on the third and fourth drives. And poor Eric back there in the defense was left high and dry a couple of times. But I really commend you guys out here for trying.
Thank you. Yeah, definitely. They're a great team. New Zealand really stuck it to us, but it was a great game. We played with pride, and can't really ask for much more.
Yeah, well done. You got another game this afternoon?
Oh, we do not. That was our only game.
Only game. And yesterday you had a game against the French. Very similar score line, but that was your first game. Is this your first Worlds?
This is definitely, this is my first Worlds. The French definitely, they're also a great team. It was really fun playing with them as well.
Yeah, and there's really an age difference in the teams. You have some really young players in there, and well done and congratulations. Any messages for the folks at home?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Thanks everybody that was helping us out to get here. It was a lot of fun, and we're gonna keep playing our hearts out.
Yeah, good luck for the rest of the tournament, and hope to see you again on the couch. Good luck. I'm joined here by number 10. Is Benjamin, is it? Thomas. Thomas, I saw you put in a few goals in there. Another demonstration of very strong New Zealand hockey. Well done. Anything to comment on?
Yeah, just the Americans were such a good team to go against, and I just felt they had real good pace, and this really kept us going throughout the whole game, and yeah, they were just great competition.
Yeah, I was in the booth with Scott, their manager, and he said one of their objectives was to make sure you guys were huffing and puffing, and I saw you guys huffing and puffing.
Oh yeah, definitely. We were definitely tired out, having to sub quite a bit during that game, and just they really tired us out.
Yeah, one thing that really came home was how well you guys have drilled together back home and you're practicing. It seemed that you're everywhere, supporting each other on the pool, making your runs, and you're even sharing the goals around.
Oh yeah, definitely. We've really come through our trainings together. We've just become a bunch of brothers, and we really know how to support each other and really help each other out. And we're not really selfish with any of our goals. We really share around the puck. So yeah, it's really good.
I know you got half the stadium here is New Zealand filled in here, but you might have some people at home. Any messages for them at home?
Yeah, thanks a lot for the support, and you guys just really keeping us going with really keeping us playing well, and just knowing that we've got a bunch of people back home supporting us is really keeping us going and keeping us playing well.
Congratulations on a well-drilled team, and congratulations to the boys, and good luck for the rest of the tournament.
Yeah, thank you so much.